Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. How is everyone doing tonight? I hope you're doing well. I am simulcasting on Rumble and Utizzle. And I did it on time for once. I put my time up on Rumble, and usually I'm 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late. Oh, my God. But no, today went pretty good. Anyway, John Bolton getting the smackdown. He's going to turn himself in tomorrow. What is it with these guys? They get to just waltz in and waltz back out. Did Comey post any bail? We don't know anything about that, do we? Anyway, I got something on the screen that you might want to take a shot of. Take a screenshot and put on your Meta, formerly known as Facebook. Say, oh, I'm just going to leave this right here. So anyway, what do? I play videos while people get in, settle in, get themselves a cup of coffee, a cold brew, maybe a Merlot wine, chamomile tea, whatever you want. And then we'll be like butter and get on a roll.
Stronger and better than ever before. They're mostly gone. They're all coming back. This is why people in countries want to kill me. They're not happy with me. It's a risky business. This is why they want to kill me. They only kill consequential presidents, remember that. But this is why, if you're one of the countries that's affected, you're not happy with what I'm saying. When they used to say they like Barack Hussein Obama, of course they do, because he did nothing to help us. When they like Biden, who doesn't know he's alive, of course they like him, because he does nothing to bring your businesses back. He lets the world rob our country, the robber barons. He lets them rob and steal from our country, and most importantly, he lets them take our job.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants. Okay.
A tyrant. We used to compare the strength of our democracy to communist dictators. That's what we're dealing with right now in Donald Trump.
This is the one that weaponized, not me. She weaponized. I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me.
Storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn, and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. care of it.
Hi, folks. How is everyone doing tonight? Thank you for joining me tonight. I do appreciate it. I got this out of my meme archive. Probably half a decade old. We've been in this battle going on 10 years. And here we are. I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Angel, how you doing? Sherry, how are you? Bubba, nice to see you. One of the original mountaineers, Bubba himself. Nice to see you, my friend. Nice to see you. You remember Jess and Bean, don't you, Bubba? Darla, nice to see you. Ah, the WW2 unknowns. I'm going to call you WW. I got to keep it simple due to my advanced age. I don't want to confuse myself. So, let me keep going. Why are they jumping around so much on me? I don't know. But at least my stream seems more steady. Hi, Randy. How you doing? Bill, nice to see you. Miss Mindersue. I got to give Miss Mindersue some booms. Miss Mindersue went to buy me a coffee and helped the channel out. Kept me from getting skunked. I know I can go through week 3 without getting skunked. Well, I know I'm bow. There goes for Miss Mindersue. Oh, don't you bow. Oh, my word. Oh, do it here. Boom. For Miss Mindersue, I'll send a nice little bird to fly by. There we go. There's my little bird. So anyway, if you want some booms, I got to buy me a coffee. That's you put in all one word, Buymeacoffeemountainman. And it'll guide you right to my page. Walk with me through history is what I say. Now, where was I? There we go. Stanton's here. Let's see. We got Stanton. We got Sissy, Sherry, Angel, Bill. Who's next? Rain, how you doing? Linda. Nice to see you. All right. Yeah, Bubba remembers. So anyway, I go through my meme archive and I pull up memes I got in trouble for in the past. Like this one here, I used to on a thumbnail. I was doing a little guest situation with someone, and we used that for a thumbnail. And the video was taken down 5 minutes after we completed our live stream because they didn't like Orange Man Rad. Well, the whole world is kissing it. What? Do I have that clip? I wonder if I know I got it. They think that's bad. That's good enough to take a video down, eh? And I told that guy, I said, make sure it goes to Rumble. They can't touch it there because I'm going to spill some tea and I want to. Oh, okay, yeah, didn't do it. Gone forever. One of my better moments, too. And it's not that hard. Not that hard to put something on Rumble. Oh, man, I have to go way down in the archives to get that one out of there. But you know what Mr. T was saying. They're all kissing my backside. So, yeah, we're going to talk about John Bolton. We're going to talk about the Putin-Trump upcoming summit. Trump has been talking. Hi, Elva. Nice to see you. Pappy Two Bears. Nice to see you, Angela. We got Angel and Angela. I got to make sure I say them both. Just like when I get two Debbies in, I got to say Debbie, Debbie. So anyway, I'm making fun now. Let me see. Putin-Trump summit. And Trump was talking about tomahawks. Let me see which. It's a clip from I had a couple of days ago. But given the fast-paced, big ticket items that have been happening. I mean, just news, constant motion, constant developments. To go over everything, we would be here for hours. I mean, we are for hours anyway, like 2 hours a show, hour to 2 hours of broadcast, I meant to say. But anyway, I think this is where Trump was talking about the Tomahawk missiles. And he's truthed out about Tomahawks. He's talked to the press about Tomahawks.
You might have to speak to Russia, to be honest with you, about Tomahawks. Do they want to have Tomahawks going in their direction? I don't think so. I think I might speak to Russia about that, in all fairness. I told that to President Zelensky, because Tomahawks are a new step of aggression. Right? You understand that very well.
Are you saying that you will speak to Putin first about Tomahawks?
I might talk to him. I might say, look, if this war's not going to get settled, I'm going to send him Tomahawks. I may say that. The Tomahawk is an incredible weapon, very offensive weapon. And honestly, Russia does not need that. They don't need that. Yeah, I might tell them that if the war is not settled, that we may very well do it. We may not, but we may do it. I think it's appropriate to bring up. Yeah, I want to see the war settled. Thank you very much. Tell them to be.
Yeah, with a lot of these references, some things we've been hearing made me think of that little interview Bill Barr gave a while back, where he said, if you want to rest, that's easy. We can arrest people all day long. But if you want scalps, that takes time. Scalps take time. And I thought about that when I started thinking about tomahawks. Tomahawks. And in the 17th letter, the word Geronimo. So, peace through strength. When we achieve stabilization for these wars around the world, and America is secure, that's when what's going to come when that happens? PAIN. And we're starting to see it. We're starting to see the pain coming with the arrest of John Bolton and James Comey and Letitia James. Who's next? We had that sycophant. Look that word up. I guess he was sweating bullets. Jack Smith. I think he thought he was next. Which service was this? CNN. In a rare interview, Smith sharply criticized how the DOJ has operated under Trump. Are you out of your damn mind? Former special counsel Jack Smith defends Trump prosecutions. His prosecutions of Trump. I think I have a clip of him. Yeah, here he is. Now he's a possibility to be next. Hi, Marla. How you doing? Graybeard. Nice to see you. Araceli. Nice to see you. Linda Marie. Nice to see all of you. Who'd I miss? I seen a purple hand waving. Pappy. I got Pappy and Elva. I want to make sure I get everybody. All right. So anyway, I got one clip from Trump. Just before the Bolton indictment was announced, and there was a person's name. Let's see if anybody in the chats can guess it. Somebody I've talked about. Hi, Wayne. How you doing? See if anybody in the chats can guess it. It's a name I've mentioned many times. But here's the other name we've all been mentioning many times, along with Adam Schiff and all the other creepos. So anyway, here's a little clip of him talking about how righteous they were. And you know what? They don't mention, none of them, CNN, MSNBC, MSDNC, none of them mention the fact that Trump got all of his documents back, everything back. He is the final word on classification. The President of the United States, the case was thrown out because Jack was illegitimate. They had no standing in the Supreme Court. They don't mention those things. They try to act like the only reason Trump didn't get prosecuted was because of the immunity decision by the Supreme Court, which is not accurate. It's within the president's purview and powers to decide what's classified and not classified. And his documents were secured in Mar-a-Lago and under the supervision of the U.S. Secret Service and the National Security Agency. But they don't mention any of that. So here's Creepy Jack Smith.
The people on my special counsel team were like that. The idea that politics played a role in who worked on that case or who got chosen is ludicrous. And Andrew, you know, and this is another thing that I think if you're not inside the U.S. Department of Justice, the idea that politics would play a role in big cases like this, it's absolutely ludicrous, and it's totally contrary to my experience as a prosecutor.
What are you drinking? Bourbon? Is that what is making your brain malfunction like that? You're out of your gourd. Oh, I got this stuff from Tish James. Tish James I had the other day. I didn't get to play. Didn't get to show you the pictures. New York Post. It's not political. All this stuff isn't political. Home to roost. Fugitive grandniece who assaulted cops lives in Tish James' fraud house. That's being published over in California, by the way. And I had this clip of Tish James. Oh, they're all innocent. You know. The only reason it's happening is because Trump is mean and he wants revenge. That's why. Not that we did anything wrong.
If Democrats really want to look at lawfare, look no further than Big Tish. Tish is in some deep-ish. She's under indictment, charged with bank fraud tied to a house she bought in Virginia. She told the bank it was her primary residence, even though she lived in New York. Tish thinks this is her Trump comeback story, though. She's ready to fight.
To be attacked for just doing your job. I will not bow. I will not break. I will not bend. I will not capitulate. I will not give in. I will not give up.
Please give up. Tish wants to ban lawfare only when she catches a charge. Too late. CNN says she deserves it.
But let's also not whitewash history here. Letitia James did essentially the same thing to Donald Trump. She ran for office explicitly targeting him. She fundraised on that. She brought a lawsuit that ultimately was gutted, not quite entirely dismissed, but mostly reversed by a liberal appeals court in New York State.
Even Michael Cohen says it's a slam dunk.
The documents will speak for themselves, and I'm certain that they have the documents that they need. I believe a first-year law student can actually take these cases to full trial and be successful.
This isn't lawfare.
That's the second time. The second time Michael Cohen's come out. The first time he was talking about James Comey, and he thought, well, James Comey looks to me like he's going to be in trouble. What happened with Michael Cohen? And now he's saying a first-year law student should be able to put Tish James in the pokey.
Fair law. Prosecutors didn't Frankenstein a phony charge to take Tish down. They just followed the code on the books. Now the tables have turned, and it's a competition over who can be the left's biggest martyr. Tish can't blame anybody but herself. Her house is not in order, literally. According to the Times, the person living there is Nakia Thompson, Tish's grandniece, who told the grand jury in June that she'd been living there in the $235,000 three-bedroom property since 2020. The Daily Mail caught her walking out on camera. Primetime did some digging. Nakia's rap sheet is longer than a CVS receipt. It's so big it spans 2 states. First in North Carolina, according to the state's Department of Adult Correction, Nakia was a very bad girl. 2005, simple assault. 2006, assault against a government official. 2011, another assault against a government official, plus trespassing. Then Nakia got 60 days behind bars and was playing whack-a-mole with cops. But she didn't clean up. She transitioned. She's become an absconder. That means she fled the state and moved to Virginia, where the Daily Mail caught her on the porch. Nakia even landed a gig working for her great auntie's 2018 campaign for AG. Would Tish hire someone who smacked a government official? Not once, but twice. Then Nakia got busted again. According to the Virginia court records, in 2019, she pled guilty to grand larceny. 3-year sentence, 2-year probation. Copped additional charges for possession of burglary tools. Another 9 traffic-related cases, including speeding, revoked license, safety belts. Oops. A year ago, she was charged with 4 traffic misdemeanors in a single day. That's efficient. Did Tish know her grandniece was a career criminal? She was obsessed with Big Bad Orange Man. Meanwhile, a wanted woman was hiding under her roof rent-free. Democrats say no one's above the law, but when it's their own, the law is optional. And in Tish's case, so is paying rent.
I wonder how many judges they had in their back pocket to let that person get away with all the stuff they've gotten away with. How many judges did they have in their back pocket? And I believe that's part of the phase we're in right now, is identifying these judges. I was going to put this up in my thumbnail. Maybe I'll put it up in the future. I don't know. I was going to use this picture, but I went ahead with my printed word, quoting the 17th letter. Justice Jackson defends fiery Supreme Court dissent, says telling people how I feel. How I feel. Nothing to do with the Constitution, but how she feels. Incompetent, okay, miscreant. And I was going to put words up there like her picture and then court bozo or something like that. Because it's clownish listening to the foolishness. And we've got these judges that are being handpicked. And what are they doing? The latest one is another judge saying Trump can't fire people. How many times does the Supreme Court have to say that Trump can fire people? Why are they defying the Supreme Court? They can't go to the same judge that was told already by the Supreme Court. So they root out another one over in California. And that one can act dumb or say, no, I added another nuance to my ruling that you haven't addressed yet, Supreme Court. Well, I think it's just identifying these plants. Like, who is John Bolton's judge? His name is Chuang, C-H-A-U-N-G. Seems to me to be of Asian descent. How many citizenship, passports, citizenships, whatever, how many's he got in his pocket? The one from California I was just talking about was appointed by Biden in the waning months of his term in office. This one, Judge Chuang, I believe was appointed by Barack Hussein Obama. So, I don't get upset over it, what these judges do. Why? Because they always get overturned. And I think it's getting them on record that they're knowingly violating their oath. Whether, I don't care if they misfeasance, malfeasance, whatever they want to call it, so we can get them out. And if it keeps up, a lot of this stuff is not going to be in civilian court. We know that there is going to be some trials that are military in nature, because the military is the only way, right? I'm just looking here. Let me see. I missed both your comments. Wait a minute. It's hard to read comments and carry a thought. Let me see. You said hello to Ann. You said, I don't know what you're about. You said hi to Marla. Said hi to Gray. Okay. I'm not picking up what you're throwing down, but I'm trying the best I can. That's right, Bill. U.S. Code Title 18. They're derelict in their duties. Boom! Miss Fendersuit, did you not hear me thank you and give you some booms earlier? For going buy me a coffee? I set off 3 booms and sent a bird flying across the screen. Yes, indeed, I did. But don't worry. J.B. Pritzker, he's doing fine. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker made more than $10 million in adjusted gross income in 2024, according to tax summaries. You know that 1.4 million of his 10 million was from gambling. Now I can set off my booms, Miss Minnersuit, because I don't want booms going off when Donald Trump's on the screen. Pow! Kaboom! There we go. See, I'll do it now. Pow! Comment 1. But that's too far back for me to go. I can't go but so far back in the comments. Oh, my all-in-one name doesn't work anymore. Oh, is the link working? I'll have to put the link in the description or in the chats. I might do that as we progress with the live stream. We shall see how it goes. You know, and I'm going to take a little chance. I'm going to show a video. Because all this stuff coming out about John Bolton, Letitia James, you know Fannie Willis is getting ready to get smacked down. And James Comey, and then we got Adam Schiff, and then we got Jack Smith. Oh, yeah. But what else are we forgetting about? Dr. Fauci, and whoever might be behind some of the stuff that's going on. Let me play this little video for y'all. It might be one you want to clip out and send to your friends.
Clearly, these 2 studies show that not only does the flu vaccination increase your risk of flu by 27%, and that study was by Shrestha and colleagues out of the Cleveland Clinic. Over 40,000 people were in that study. So this is a robust study, very credible. And then the other study found 340% increased risks of other viruses when you get the flu shot. And so not only are you getting more flu, you're getting more coronaviruses and more infections, and it's just ridiculous.
What? Maybe oh my word. Who's pushing that stuff? Who's making money off that stuff? Oh, I thought you said that listening to the stream, it took your hubby to straighten out listening to the stream. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay. Let me see. I will put a link. Now, you can copy those things and save them in your device, can't you? I think that's the way to do it. Let me try to take my digits and type something up. And put it in the chats. What time are we at in the chats? That way people can know when they replay the chats. There it is, right there. It should show up sometime. Yeah, they're messing with me big time. There it is. If anybody wants to help the channel out. And so we can set off some booms. I'll keep putting Pritzker's big fat head up there. How about this thing right here? What's her name? Porter? I've talked about this creator, Memology 101. He's been taken down so many times, but he got his channel back. He's had Memology 202 and all these different things. But anyway, he put this one up about, I can't play it because I get a copyright. But this Porter woman, what's her name? Katie Porter? Soon Trump will have a heart attack. He put it in quote marks. Yeah, if you copy it and then store it in your device, it'll work, but it won't work directly from Utizzle. It won't work directly from Utizzle. I got some stuff to play from Mr. T. And we're going to talk about all this stuff that's going on. Let me see. I hear I got a stable stream. I better get some of this stuff out. Let's see what this is about. I'll comment on it afterward. What is this? Mr. T. Now, he had another meeting today about what do they call it? You all know the acronym for it, for helping women get pregnant and stuff. Actually supporting creating life instead of destroying it. But anyway, let me see what Trump's talking about here.
Senator John Bolton was just indicted by a grand jury in Maryland. Do you have a reaction to that?
I didn't know that. You told me for the first time, but I think he's, a bad person. I think he's a bad guy. Yeah, he's a bad guy. It's too bad, but that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes, right? That's the way it goes. Will I what?
Have you reviewed the case against him?
No, I haven't. But I think he's...
That's the way it goes, John. John Bolton, that's the way it goes. And before anybody thinks they're picking on him, let me see if I got him. I got him babbling. Oh, remember when I put that video up about, or that picture? I put a picture up about an ark. And I said, Trump didn't make any comment. Do you all know what it's about? And he put this out, was reported on. He put these plans out. Ark de Trump. He's got a little model in his hand there. So, Arc de Trump, designed by President, unveiled as he reveals controversial past plan for the site. What was the past plan they wanted to put there? Probably something to George Floyd or something equally repugnant. Maybe a pro-grants tender. Oh, really? Well, they disabled it on me for a while. I believe somebody was picking on me, and it got straightened out when I did my appeal. There are people who are doing a good job and working for you, Tizzle, right? There are people who are sensitive and get mad at things I say. You never know. Leftist British harpies make citizen arrest on water company CEO for environmental crimes. Have we got anybody from the UK? I don't think that they're allowing anybody from the UK to watch me. But here's some guy, a water company CEO. Now, see, they're so polite over there in the UK. I would have had to backhand somebody. But he's walking to work minding his own business, and here they come.
Mark Thurston. Hello, my name's Isabel. I'm actually here to place you under citizen's arrest.
Excuse me, I'm trying to get to
Oh,
work.
I'm so sorry. I know you are, but this is a very serious matter. The charge is actually public nuisance, and we have reason to believe that you are on your way to commit further crimes of public nuisance. So you are safe. The police have been called and are on their way. And we just request that you wait here with us now until they come.
It's not possible, I'm afraid. I need to get to work.
I do understand that.
One of your colleagues tried to do this to me the other day up at my office.
Yes. Yes.
So I've seen this stuff before.
Yeah, it's not a starting place. Hello. I do have the right to under the police section 24A of the Police and Evidence
Well, I'm
Bill.
going to call the police because you're
Yes,
not.
please do. You can also call anyone else to tell them that you may well be late this morning. I do understand that this is inconvenient for you, but I'm afraid the crime of public nuisance is very serious as well.
Yeah, somebody would have taken their rear end up off the ground. And I would have gone to work and made a cup of coffee. But they are very nice over there in the UK. Ha ha ha. Hi, Linda Marie. Linda Marie from the UK? Oh, Yvonne is. Okay, hi, Yvonne. You're from the UK. Well, you better watch out for citizen's arrests. Whiskey's here. How you doing, Whiskey? IVF. Thank you, Graybeard. Where did Pappy's comment go? I don't know. Yeah, it looks like a coven of a bunch of harpies, right, Rain? That's what Citizen Free Press said. Looks like a bunch of harpies. I thought I had that clip of John Bolton when he was running his mouth. Let me see if this is it. About Trump. There he is. I need to find that one where he's talking and his mustache starts growing and muffles his voice. But anyway, I'll settle for this one.
Any given moment. But I don't think he cared about the classification system. I don't think he appreciated the sensitivity of this information, and he didn't appreciate the sensitivity of how it was often acquired, the so-called sources and methods. So this had been briefed to him before I arrived. It was repeated frequently. I think it simply had no impact on him whatever.
There's a couple of different ways that people think about this, and people who are not friendly to the president, who think about what's happened here. And one of them is, Donald Trump, master thief, criminal, running some kind of elaborate conspiracy to bring things out of the White House and keep them secret for potentially for political or financial gain. There are other people who attitude is Trump is chaotic. He's careless. He's not that smart. He took these things almost by mistake, and now he's basically stamping his feet and saying they're mine. I don't want to give them up. Give me a sense of where you think the truth lies with respect to Trump's intelligence, carelessness, and the degree to which he might have brought motive to bear on taking these documents out of the White House and keeping them for this long at Mar-a-Lago.
Well, it's very hard to speculate on motive other than that he liked cool things. He saw things so he wanted to take them, and he was pretty much able to take them, and not just on classified information matters, on all kinds of things that crossed his desk. Some days he liked to eat a lot of French fries. Some days he took classified documents. He wanted them. Why did he want them? Because he could get them.
Now, this idiot on the screen right here was doing the talking points, just acting like Trump did something wrong, period. And Bolton's acting like Trump has this juvenile mentality. Well, you know, Bolton's 75 years old. And he's not a stupid person. Although he didn't seem very tech savvy. He's using America Online, AOL. When's the last time you've seen anybody use that? But he's got to know the gravity of a situation. And you want to know how quick he's going to start singing? You think he's going to want to go to jail at 75 years old? I mean, something's going to happen to him. What I've seen from CNN and MSNBC, they start right away talking about Julian Assange and what was his name? Sandy Berger. That's the only two they were talking about. And I think it was Frank on NPC show, I think, Googled who else got in trouble for this. And he got the same thing. Sandy Berger and Julian Assange. Well, it's been a heck of a lot more than that who are spending life in prison. Can you say Alder James? Alder James? Can you, what was that one guy's name? Walker? He's in jail. Same jail, I believe, as the Menendez brothers are. What was his name? He got life. But they say, oh, well, Sandy Berger, he got off. Wait a minute. Sandy Berger went into the National Archives and took original copies and stuffed them down his pants and in his pocket and in his coat and was caught. And the only reason he got off the hook was because Bill Clinton let him off the hook. Otherwise, he'd been doing some hard time, too. And Julian Assange spent, 15 years? I don't know how many, 7 years, 8 years. I don't know how many years he spent locked up in different embassies and lost his freedom. So they try to make it seem like it's, somehow other people have done it. It's not a big deal. Yeah, well, I know Aldrich James is one, and the other one was, I think his name is Walker, his last name, if anybody wants to look it up, for espionage. Espionage. Let's see what this one is about. Oh, here, let's see how CNN reported this big bust. She used to do 5 o'clock in the morning shows. Remember that, folks? I played a correction. CNN did a correction once. And I said, you see how they do their corrections? They do it at 5 in the morning. I said, who's this 5 o'clock in the morning chick? Well, she got graduated like 2 months later. Now she's their main anchor.
Our Caitlin Polans, who has been reporting on the possible indictment of John Bolton, the former national security advisor for President Trump in his first term. Caitlin, what do we know?
Casey, John Bolton, the former national security advisor to Donald Trump, a longtime federal government official, has been indicted by a grand jury. We are learning that through 2 different sources from our producer, Hannah Rabinowitz, at the Justice Department. And we have confirmed that the grand jury was in today with the lead prosecutor on that case, the same prosecutor who had been on some of the documents of the search of Bolton's house just 2 months ago, or not even 2 months ago, a prosecutor who also has some experience in investigating these sorts of things. He was a prosecutor that was also working on the Biden classified documents handling investigation that led to no charges. But in this situation, the bulk of this case, it's been going on for several years, and our understanding is that it's about John Bolton's use of an email account with AOL, an email account where he was writing diary-like notes and summaries of his time as National Security Advisor to himself, at times even sending them to his wife and daughter. And that is the sort of thing that the Justice Department does say frequently, not just in the climate of a Trump administration, that that's something that you should not do. We have seen many charges like this before of other high-ranking officials, and that also with John Bolton in those search warrants, and what we're very likely to see in court going forward is that the Justice Department saying he should have known better.
He did know better. He did know better. Now, what's he going to do? Is he going to give material assistance to the people that were undermining Trump during his first term? I remember when John Bolton was trying to get a job. He was going around giving interviews saying, I need to talk to President Trump. People are leading him the wrong way. I think it is imperative that I get with the president. This is very important. And he ended up on the staff. So perhaps he can give some inside knowledge. But anyway, here's the way Fox News broke the news on Bolton.
Fox News alert, President Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton, has been indicted. He's accused of mishandling classified documents. Let's go right to Fox News correspondent David Spunt with the details. David.
Hi, Will. This is breaking news out of Greenbelt, Maryland, federal court there. A federal grand jury has returned an indictment against former National Security Advisor John Bolton, but we want to be very careful. This has not been unsealed yet, so we don't know the names of the charges, specifically what charges he's facing, and we don't know how many counts he is facing yet, but we do know that this deals with allegedly mishandling classified documents. His own attorney, Abby Lowell, who famously represented Hunter Biden, Bill Clinton, Jared Kushner in the past, put out a statement a couple of weeks ago when news was swirling that this may be happening, admitting that Bolton did have classified documents in his possession, but said that those were pre-cleared for the publication of his book. So not much information right now other than to tell you that former National Security Advisor John Bolton has been indicted for allegedly mishandling classified documents. I do want to point out, though, that on August 27th, we were there as FBI agents raided his Maryland home and Washington, D.C. office. Agents were looking for these classified documents. And again, Abby Lowell said many of these documents would be, and I want to read a statement here. You don't have it, but I'm just going to paraphrase it here. I'm going to actually read the quote. We're just not going to put up the quote. He said, quote, "These are the kinds of ordinary records, many of which are 20 years old or more, that would be kept by a 40-year-old career official who served at the State Department, an assistant attorney general, the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, and the National Security Advisor." He said that these are dated with classification markings from 1998 to 2006. He says an objective and thorough review will show nothing inappropriate was stored or kept by Ambassador Bolton. So John Bolton indicted for allegedly mishandling classified documents, and he had said many times in the past during the raid on Mar-a-Lago or when classified documents were found at President Biden's home in Wilmington, Delaware. Remember, he had an investigation, too, for classified documents. Bolton criticized both those men, and he said, quote, "Because if the people at the top can be casual about it when they get away with it, that is not a good lesson to teach," end quote. That was John Bolton in 2023. So still very fresh. This just broke. We're waiting to get some reaction from Bolton's team. I reached out to his attorney, Mr. Lowell, and we're waiting to see about this indictment being unsealed to get a little bit more detail here. Will?
Well, they're talking about it being real old documents. I'm not sold on that. He was involved in the shenanigans against Trump during his first term. And the efforts to jail Trump when he was trying to reclaim the presidency from the infiltrators. So we'll see. We shall see. Gosh, let me tell you something. If you're driving down the road and you see something like this, keep driving. This is on somebody's vehicle window. Can you believe that? Don't blame me. Blame you for what? World peace? Blame you for what? Gas down to $2.50. I had a friend get my plumber intel when got gas for $2.59 today. Huh? What are you talking about being blamed? Yeah, don't have friends like that. I mean, it's time to cut ties. Cut ties. Speaking of cutting ties, here's John Fetterman. Here's an article somebody put out. Scoop. Dems plot Fetterman ouster. And they got a picture there. I guess they view him as a pawn on the blue pieces. Party being a Democrat Party blue. He's a pawn. Well, who's the king and queen? Who's the bishops? Who's the knights? If he's a pawn. You had to pay. My friend got it a penny cheaper than you, Todd. $2.59. Maybe yours will go to $2.57 tomorrow. We shall see. But anyway, they're stabbing Fetterman in the back. And here's Fetterman. What's he got to say about it? What do you got to say, John? How much you want to bet he's going to be a Republican by Christmas? Well, I don't know. We shall see. But he discloses here something I never knew. That his whole family's Republican. What happened to you, John? I mean, not just your face, but your political leanings.
I'm the only Democrat in my family. I grew up in a conservative. I grew up and I know and I love people that voted for President Trump. But they are not fascists. They're not Nazis. They're not trying to destroy the Constitution and those things. And that's part of another thing. I refuse to call people Nazis or fascists, or I would never compare anybody to Hitler and those things. And now that kinds of extreme rhetoric is going to continue. We're going to be more likely in resulting in extreme kind of outcomes and political violence and doing all these kinds of things like Charlie Kirk. For me, all I could say is like, let people grieve. Give people the space. I'm not going to use that terrible thing and that Pasek assassination to make my argument and try to put out my views. It's like, my God, he's a father that had his neck blown out by a bullet. And now people have forgotten. President Trump was in my state, was shot in the head. And if that could you imagine where our nation would be if he was hit in the same way with Kirk? We really got to turn the temperature down. And we can agree to disagree on these kinds of things. But right now, shutting down the government, I just can't.
Yeah, that's why they can't stand him. They can't stand Fetterman. So it's oil and water. It's oil and water. The party of violence is repulsing him. Like Marla, you got it for $2.29. Wow. Yeah, you're ahead from everybody. $2.38. Cole said, "How you doing, Cole?" In Missouri. Linda, where do you live? $4.69, Miss Mendersu. My goodness. You must be in a high tax state. They need the money. They do good things with your money, and you shouldn't be selfish. I'm being facetious, right? Here's something else for your meta. What are you, in California, eh? Oh, Washington, my word. And it's 289 in Northern Virginia. Nova. Oh, that's the other thing. Bolton's being charged in Maryland. And that judge is from Maryland. And there isn't 10 cents worth of dirty ice between Maryland and Northern Virginia, is it, Ann? They're just infested with liberals, infested with them. But I tell you what, things are going to change. Newswire, Democrats in South face a wipeout if Supreme Court guts Voting Rights Act. New York Times. What could happen without Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act? Current map, plausible scenario. Look. Virginia's not on there, but it's wiping them out. But they are not going to gut Section 2. That's a misrepresentation. I will go so far as to say a dang lie. Here is Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. They're not going to gut this. They're going to clarify its enforcement. No voting qualification or prerequisite to voting or standard, practice, or procedure shall be imposed or applied by any state or political subdivision to deny or abridge the right of any citizen of the United States to vote on account of race or color. Get it? But what is the New York Times and CNN and all of them saying? They're going to gut this? No, they're going to leave it. They're just not going to allow them to manipulate and rig on a basis of race, which is what they've twisted Section 2 to mean. Section 2 is going to be exactly where it is. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to get gutted. Here's the kind of crap that I get bombarded with. Maryland mother freed after ICE detained her for months over decades-old theft conviction. Wait a minute, what's wrong with this title? Maryland mother, is that like Maryland man? Okay, she's an alien. She's not a citizen. That's what I'm getting from this headline. She committed a crime, and she was in ICE detention for 5 months over a nonviolent conviction. Well, guess what? If you're here and you're here unlawfully and committed a crime, a crime is a crime. Do we want people? Oh, I did it a long time ago. Well, sorry. She got out somehow, but see how they play with the headline? Maryland mother. Maryland mother. But some of these things I got pertain to the Voting Rights Act. I know that if this stuff is hitting my phone, it's hitting other people's phones. Where a liberal would shake their head and say, ICE is so horrible, taking a Maryland mother and putting her in jail for 5 months. They're terrible. No, but I can read between the damn lines. Here we go with the BBC. What is the BBC doing worrying about the Voting Rights Act? U.S. Supreme Court weighs earthquake ruling on Voting Rights Act. Oral arguments on Wednesday in a case that could dramatically reshape the electoral politics in the American South. See, they're trying to make it seem like another civil war. No, they're just not going to let them manipulate districts based solely on race. Section 2 doesn't say a damn thing about that. It just says everybody can go vote, but your districts have to be contiguous. They can't look like pieces of spaghetti. As aggressive ICE tactics are caught on camera, the government says agents are being smeared. Aggressive ICE tactics. It's kind of like when they get up there and say, well, there's masked men kidnapping people. They've been saying that crap for months. Use your brain. People are saying, well, there sure is a lot of ICE agents out here arresting people. This is crazy. What have you been being told for months and months? They're getting out. They're being moved out. And they're starting with violent criminals. Let's get that straight. Okay, they're starting with violent criminals. That doesn't mean if you've got an old theft conviction, you can stay. Muriel Bowser is stirring up trouble. Muriel Bowser has questioned the legality of federal deployment of the National Guard to police citizens, arguing that military force should not be used as domestic law enforcement. I thought she was under control. It doesn't look like it. I got more reports. I'll skip over them. I'm gonna get back to President Trump. Did anybody guess? I said Trump just before Bolton and the indictment got disclosed. He mentioned somebody that I have mentioned out in the past. Did anybody know who it was? Let me see what this clip says. He talked about a lot of stuff today.
Putin tried to dissuade you from selling Tomahawk missiles.
Well, of course, what do you think he's going to say? Please sell Tomahawks? Is he going to say, please sell those Tomahawks? I really appreciate it. I did actually say, would you mind if I gave a couple of thousand Tomahawks to your opposition? I did say that to him. I said it just that way. He didn't like the idea. He really didn't like the idea. No, I said it that way. You have to be a little bit lighthearted sometimes, but no, he doesn't want Tomahawk. Tomahawk is a vicious weapon. It's a vicious, offensive, incredibly destructive weapon. Nobody wants Tomahawk shot at him.
Ask you not to provide Tomahawk?
Yeah, Trump gave that interview on Air Force One where he said he was thinking about giving Tomahawks. And guess what happens? Trump phones start ringing. And who's on the other end? Vladimir Putin. And they had a conversation. And Trump said, I'll give you the contents of it in a little bit. So it came out on Russian news. At least this is their version of the conversation with Trump. You know, I'll go ahead and tell you all, I got in the back of my mind that look for peace. Look for peace with Trump, with Putin and Zelensky very soon. I think this, I just got a feeling because of the Geronimo in the 17th letter, Bill Barr talking about scalps. Now we're talking about tomahawks. And, well, you think I'm crazy? Hold on. I'm going to put up something before I talk about this phone call. This right here. From the 17th letter. If America falls, the world falls. God bless our brave fighting men and women. They deserve our deepest gratitude through their strength and the millions of united patriots around the world. Remember, Trump was saying the New World Order will not be made up the way they think. It's going to be nations of patriots. So not just Americans. United patriots around the world. We will succeed in this fight. That includes patriots in Russia. That includes patriots in any country you can think of. Not people who want a one world order. But the last two lines are what I put on my thumbnail picture. Peace through strength. And the very last sentence was, now comes the pain. And I think it's time to start getting scalps. Next code word I'd be looking for would be Geronimo. When you hear that, that means things are going to pop off. But anyway, assistant to the president of Russia, Yuri whatever, revealed details of the conversation between Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump. The conversation lasted almost 2.5 hours, was very substantive in nature, and was extremely frank and confidential. Special emphasis was placed on the Ukrainian crisis. The Russian president assessed the situation and expressed Russia's side's interest in achieving a peaceful, political, diplomatic resolution. Putin noted that Russia holds the strategic initiative, while the Kiev regime resorts to terrorist methods, with which Russia is forced to respond. Trump, in turn, repeatedly emphasized the need for the swift establishment of peace in Ukraine. The idea that the Russian-Ukrainian conflict turned out to be the most difficult was evident throughout the conversation. I guess that's in reference to all the other wars Trump has stopped. Added the assistant to the Russian president. The U.S. president pointed out that ending the conflict would open up huge prospects for cooperation. The conversation also touched on the issue of possible deliveries of long-range Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine, Yushakov added, or Yushakov. Putin reiterated that they would not change the situation on the battlefield, but would cause significant damage to the relations between the countries. The heads of state also discussed the possibility of holding a new meeting, the assistant to the president said. An agreement was reached that representatives of the two countries would immediately begin preparing for a meeting, which would take place, for example, in Budapest. The contact was very useful, and the two leaders agreed to stay in touch. That would be Viktor Orban, right? In Hungary. American contractors will manage Tomahawk cruise missiles if they are supplied to Ukraine. And Ukrainian military personnel may not even be trained on how to handle them, reports the Financial Times. The American press reports that the Pentagon is already preparing to send Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine. Boy, I bet John Bolton wishes he could be there for that. But I had a report that Viktor Orban said he's ready to set up a summit between Trump and Putin. Here's how Trump's putting pressure on Putin, at least for our viewing enjoyment. I don't know how much of this is purposefully put up as a show, but the U.S. vows to get China to do the same. and limit Moscow's revenue from energy exports, which he says is helping fund the Ukraine war. Modi will boycott Russian oil. So he's going to be squeezing Russia and also depressing the price. $2.39 gas, is that what we heard? And it's going to dry up the coffers, so to speak, for Russia to continue to fund the war. Now, I want to ask y'all, which one of these scenarios do you believe? I heard two things. Dozens of reporters turned in access badges and exited to the Pentagon rather than agree to government-imposed restrictions on their work, pushing journalists who covered the American military further from the seat of power. The U.S. government has called the new rules common sense. They're saying they walked off. They turned in their access badges because they couldn't agree with the new restrictions, I guess, on handing over classified information or leaking information. But they're acting like they're the heroes. But here's another statement put out. Today, the Defense Department confiscated. So what did they do? Did they turn their badges in, or were their badges confiscated? Of the Pentagon reporters from virtually every major media organization in America. Wow. It did this because reporters would not sign on to a new media policy over its implicit threat of criminalizing national security reporting and exposing those who sign it to potential prosecution. Well, you sign something about national security, you better look what's going on with John Bolton. The Pentagon Press Association members are still committed to reporting on the U.S. military. But make no mistake, today, October 15th, 2025, is a dark day for press freedom that raises concerns about a weakening U.S. commitment to transparency in government, to public accountability at the Pentagon, and free speech for all. I think it wasn't your choice. I don't think you turned in squat. I think they told you, cough them up right now. That's what I think. Either way, they're out of there. Hi, Jerry. How you doing? Roland, nice to see you. Well, as long as you get the right woman's touch. Hebrew, how you doing? Because you get the wrong one, it'd be more than a touch. Ha ha, I guess I don't got to tell you that, though. Like this one right here. Look at here. Don't move anything like this in your house. Woman invoked Charlie Kirk's assassination, I'll say, while threatening immigration agents the U.S. charges. Here's somebody that has no life. Look at that thing. A bunch of them got charged. One of them, one group had injured an agent, shot him in the neck. And I think it's like all four of them are charged as terrorists. Unhinged leftists, this is from Adam San Francisco, the young guy that got the new kidney. Unhinged leftist Bethany Abigail Terrell, a Massachusetts woman, invoked the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk as something we love, as she threatened last month to end the lives of federal agents conducting an immigration arrest, U.S. prosecutors said on Thursday. Let's see what this judge does with this person. As agents handcuffed. Oh, that's because a D.C. judge, I believe it was, let two of the perpetrators that beat the Doge employee up, gave him just probation for like 6 months or 9 months or something like that, no jail time. As agents handcuffed the individual, Terrell, a bystander, approached screaming, "ICE is here! ICE is here! And you guys are monsters! This is insane!" while pushing through the agents and filming them with their phone, according to charging papers. Terrell failed to comply with commands from agents to back up and address them as Nazis and disgusting, authorities allege. According to court papers, as agents led the arrested individual to a car, Terrell yelled, "Charlie Kirk died and we love it. We're coming for you. Gonna KILLU." Is that an implicit threat? Yes, it is. Should she go to jail? Oh, yes, she should. Will she go to jail? You got me. Here's the boss. I forget his name. Get a load of this. Pritzker, I showed him earlier, makes $10 million a year, $1.4 million of it gambling, he claims. Wouldn't that be something? If it wasn't gambling money. I don't know. But anyway, he had somebody on. Pritzker gave a illegal alien a gun and put him on the police force. Do you know, as the attorney Andrew Branca pointed out, that harboring, aiding, and abetting illegal aliens is punishable by extradition. It's capital offense. And remember Trump saying, I think they're afraid for their lives when he was talking about these crazy governors and mayors? But anyway, let me play this.
I mean, in J.B. Pritzker's Illinois, an illegal aid alien is working as a sworn-in police officer with a badge, with a gun, and a pension. Your reaction?
Oh, Sandra and John, it's good to be with you again. Thanks for having me. It's unbelievable that the state of Illinois and Governor J.B. Pritzker would hand an illegal alien a weapon. Title 18 U.S.C. Code 922 says it's a felony for an illegal alien to possess or own a firearm. But yet here we have an illegal alien with a firearm in the state of Illinois, as per J.B. Pritzker and those leaders. It's absolutely amazing what's going on here in Illinois. We do have a crime problem here. This is yet another example of the out of control crime problem, this time perpetrated by the state in Illinois.
This is J.B. Pritzker, however. This is earlier today.
Yeah, something's going to give. Something's got to give with this crap. He's worth that much money, Miss Mitsu, because his family is very wealthy. I think they own a bunch of hotels or something. Oh, my word, Roland. Sorry to hear that. Yeah. What's this? Here's Matt Walsh. The left actually wants me dead. Like specifically and personally. They're the reason why I need security at my house. Why I worry for my children's safety. We've had to make major changes to the way we live our daily lives to account for this danger. So when I say that I want to stop the infighting and unite against the threat, that's the context. I'm sorry if the squabbles among right-wingers just kind of pale in comparison to me, for me. If you have the luxury to care more about that, I envy you. I truly do. That's what I was referring to with people talking about reports about this guy that they arrested for assassinating Charlie Kirk and getting into all the weeds. No, not me. Like Matt Walsh said, you got that luxury. That's why I don't put up where on my sleeve my location. Like I said, they come around messing with me. It ain't going to end good. I'm just doing everybody a favor. I'll put it that way, including me. But we're just getting warmed up. We're just getting warmed up. Here, this is something I was going to put up yesterday. Visas revoked. Trump administration revokes visas for 6 foreigners over Charlie Kirk comments. Yeah. I said a long time ago that their social media is being scrubbed. Not just for this instance either. We've got people in our countries expressing communist views or inciting violence or assisting other people to enter the country illegally. Get them out first, because that's a crime. This is what I was looking for yesterday. Trump said if they don't disarm, we're going to disarm them. The alliance, he said, we're not going to be sending troops in. There'll be other people doing it. And I mentioned that he's going to make them, like he did Iran, he's going to make them a pariah state, a pariah entity that nobody likes. And today, he put out a very blunt truth. Let's see. It's got the K-I-double-L word in it. It's really, well, he just said if they don't quit killing people, we're going to kill them. We're going to kill you. That's what he said. Let me put up some of his tweets. Or truths, I'm sorry. I'm outraged. Oh, this is something else with Greta von Doomberg. Let me see if I can find the one about the Hamas. You might have to take my word for it. That's what he said. Did you all read that? Maybe I thought I copied it and didn't. But like I said, you're going to take my word for it. Anyway, I'm outraged that the International Maritime Organization is voting in London this week to pass a global carbon tax. The United States will not stand for this global green new scam, tax on shipping, and will not adhere to it in any way, shape, or form. We will not tolerate increased prices on American consumers or the creation of a green new scam bureaucracy to spend your money on their green dreams. Stand with the United States and vote no in London tomorrow. This is why the president needs to have control over tariffs. Because what they're talking about doing is putting tariffs on us using this global warming crap. And if Trump can't respond, we're screwed. So this is his message to all of them. If you vote, this carbon tax goes through, we're going to take it out of your hides. Whoever voted for it. David, how you doing? Oh, they own Hyatts, Jerry? Yeah, Hyatt Hotels. I knew the guy that owned, what were they? I just had it on the tip of my tongue. He used to ride around on an old Jeep, play a banjo on his ranch. Marriott Hotels. What was his name? That was many years ago. I only talked to him a couple times. Might have been Conrad Hilton. Working a deal, brief meeting. But anyway, here's something else from President Trump. Let me see if this is where he dropped some names. Dropped some names that I said a long time ago to listen for. I'm not sure if it's this clip or not. Let's see.
Would like to understand the full extent to which the Biden-Harris Justice Department weaponized federal law enforcement. What do you think the committee will find out?
I think it was the worst weaponization of a political opponent in the history of the world, let alone this country. And I hope that everybody's, they're involved in it. I'm not. I'm the one that had to suffer through it and ultimately win. But what they did was criminal. Deranged Jack Smith, in my opinion, is a criminal. And I noticed his interviewer was, I think that was Weissman. And I hope they're going to look into Weissman, too. Weissman's a bad guy. And he had somebody in Lisa, who was his puppet, worked in the office really as the top person. And I think that she should be looked at very strongly. There was tremendous criminal activity having to do. If we don't have fair elections in this country, we're not going to have a country. And I've said it from the beginning, fair elections and borders. And we need also fair press, because if you don't have fair press, it's very tough. And we've got the strongest border of anybody. Nobody has a border. We have a border where the numbers just came out again. You saw 0 people came in illegally. Now, we do take people into our country legally, but 0 people. But, you're talking about a different subject. You're talking about political crime. They have committed massive political crime. I hope they're looking at Shifty Schiff. I hope they're looking at all these people. And I'm allowed to find out. I'm allowed to, I'm, in theory, the chief law enforcement officer. But I have a very good, talented group. This is about something else. But I hope they're looking at political crime, because there's never been so much political crime against a political opponent as what I had to go through. They raided my house in Florida. It was an illegal raid. I have a lawsuit that was doing very well. And when I became president, I said, I'm sort of suing myself. I don't know. How do you settle the lawsuit? I'll say, give me X dollars, right? And I don't know what to do with the lawsuit. It's a great lawsuit. And now I won. It sort of looks bad. I'm suing myself, right? So I don't know. But that was a lawsuit that was very strong, very powerful. They raided illegally my house in Florida, Mar-a-Lago. They went through the drawers of my young son. They went through all of the cabinets and drawers of the First Lady. She walked in, she said, wow, what happened? Because she's very meticulous, and this wasn't so meticulous. As she looked into the drawers, and she saw everything a mess. It's what they did against a person that just got out of office. And then you look at these corrupt people. You look at Hunter Biden. You look at the signature. As an example, the Auto Pen. I just signed so many different things. An admiral, a 4-star general. I'm signing them left and right, the commissions. And by the way, I want to compliment John Thune and also Mike, our great speaker. But John Thune, all of a sudden I'm getting these things by the hundreds. I was getting one every 2 weeks. It would have been 4 years before you got them in more. So you would have had some that didn't even get in, all because of Democrat obstruction. So John Thune did a great job. I must have signed 200 into the administration. We're just about caught up. It's amazing. And so compliments to John. He had to do some things that were very tough to do that he didn't want to do, but he was forced to do it by the Democrats. And as far as the shutdown's concerned, this is a Democrat Schumer shutdown. And he's trying to do it to get relevance back into the party because he's a loser. I've known him all his life. He's always been sort of a loser, but an intelligent one. But I think he's losing IQ points with time. I think that happens. I hope it hasn't happened with me. I know if it did, you guys.
Yeah, well, he covered a lot of stuff, but at the beginning, he dropped some names. He dropped some names that I said to watch it. One of the main players is going to get busted. I don't see any guesses. Nobody caught it. Nobody caught it. Weissman, Andrew Weissman, Mr. Sweaty Man, I called him. I did a video about a year and a half ago. And Lisa Monaco. Lisa Monaco was the assistant attorney general underneath Merrick Garland. And Trump said that Andrew Weissman was the shadow back there that was telling Lisa Monaco what to do. And he said, he's a criminal. Jack Smith is a criminal. Adam Schiff is a criminal. So those are the names that we'll know about because we've been talking about it for so long. Andrew Weissman, Mr. Sweaty Man, he's not on the radar, but he's always on CNN and MSNBC. And he's been laying low lately, hadn't he? Here it is. Here's that truth from Mr. T. If Hamas continues to kill people in Gaza, which was not the deal, we will have no choice but to go in and kill them. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I know about utensil policies, but communications from the President of the United States are meant for everybody to hear. I have this picture that it's where the thumbnail is isolated. I mean, an instant later, one frame later, everybody on their knees are gone. And I saw horrible videos from when the Syrian government fell, okay? People don't realize the loss of civility, of armed groups running wild. It only takes seconds. You know, it's not like you pick up the phone and call 911 and the cops show up. You say, hey, these guys are hassling me. No. Seconds go by and they ruin lives. They took out, where's that one report I had? They took out 25 family members right off the bat when they first got into, here it is. I think this is it. Oh, my goodness. I got too many up there. Let me get something off my screen. I can put it up. I mean, they get mad at one or two people in the family and they take out everybody. This is it. Then they put out these flyers like this. Residents in Gaza reported that Hamas committed a massacre against the Dogmash family in the Sabra neighborhood of Gaza. About 25 people were reportedly executed by Arrow unit. There's more than one unit going by doing that stuff. And all these college kids running around, from the river to the sea. Hooray for Palestine. Well, where's these people's due process? The other thing they holler, due process. Like that one character we're still trying to kick out of this country that was in Columbia University. Pro-Hamas. Like this Hassan Piker I've been talking about, who's been putting up pro-Hamas videos on a platform meant for kids. Well, here they are. You're pro-Hamas. Here they are. You want due process. Here's their due process. Is that what you lunatics are supporting? Apparently so. Let me take this scene down. But yeah, go ahead and take him out, Mr. President Trump. I mean, we've got enough countries that have been given the green light. And the only place they're not isolated politically is America and the UK. These Hamas, might as well say animals. But let's have a little fun in life. Antifa agitator Seth Sinclair knocked out cold by ice in Portland. Oh, did I get the video? Oh, yes, I did. Unfortunately, it's just when they're dragging him. He's seeing stars. It's what we used to call back in the day. He's taking a walk down Queer Street when you get your bell rung real bad.
That was uncalled for. That was uncalled for. I had no reason to push it like that. That was uncalled for. Move.
Ha ha ha! He had his black helmet on and all his riot gear, and he's gonna wake up with birds singing in his head. What happened? What? They need to do more of that. Just knock them. That's the other thing. I had a friend from the UK. He used to say, "I'll knock them smooth out." He used to say that all the time. Smooth out. What's this one? I don't even know. I don't even know if I can show this on YouTube. I got this a couple of days ago. What is this? Let me see. Whoa. I got to cut my mic off so it'll play clear. Let me see. What is it?
Okay. Hey, can you give us back our signs?
This is a jerk that is pulling down signs for Turning Point USA. Watch how arrogant these little simpletons are.
Why were you removing our signs?
It's freedom of speech, really. It's a symbolic way of freedom of speech.
A symbolic way of freedom of speech by silencing other people's freedom of speech?
Something like that. It's weird.
Something like that.
We're allowed to do that. And
we're allowed to touch somebody else's property and hinder their freedom of speech? Explain. How does that even make sense?
The thing is, like, you're here too. Like, are you paying for this university?
We're literally students on campus. Okay. We paid for these signs. We paid thousands of dollars for these signs, and you're touching our signs. Mm-hmm. What makes you think you can touch our signs?
Freedom of speech again.
It's not freedom of speech. That's theft. You want to tell the police that's freedom of speech?
Go ask the office.
You want to talk to the police? Oh, the office told you that's freedom of speech.
The office all over there in
speech.
Ask the offices over there. It was at Walker. I remember now. It was at Walker. For housing and food, they have an office that also takes care of advertisement around here.
Advertisement around here. Well, I'm sorry, but you've been misinformed. Would you like to apologize publicly for removing our signs? You don't even want to apologize?
I mean, not really.
Not really. Wow. Would you like to publicly provide your name as well?
I'm good.
You're good. Well,
so you're not even proud of your quote-unquote freedom of speech?
We support freedom of speech. For instance, at the University of Oklahoma, they host a drag queen show every year, and we don't touch their yard signs because we respect their freedom of speech. But you actively were removing our signs and think that's freedom of speech. Well, I'm here to tell you that's not, and it's just despicable that you won't even apologize for taking our signs.
You know, it used to be that you could give somebody like that a kick in the pants. I mean, it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't like you went to jail for giving somebody who deserved a kick in the pants a kick in the pants. But that guy was too nice. I mean, call him every name in the book. Call him everything but a Christian. You know, or a Muslim or any other person of good faith. I'll put it that way. Call him every name in the damn book and shame him. Get a close up of his face. Tell him he's a. Well, he did bring up the thing about you leave the posters up for story time with little kids, men dressed like women. Say, well, you know, say, what are you? Some kind of gay? But anyway, here's something encouraging.
A Christian revival across the country. Bible sales increasing over 40% since 2022. Religion app downloads surging nearly 80%. That increase since 2019. And Christian music Spotify streams up 50% from 2019. Our next.
Yeah. So it's a definite tectonic shift away from this lunacy. Oh, and yeah, I got a clip too from Piers Morgan. You know, some people like him, some people don't. At least the clips I've been seeing of him, he's been putting his foot down with some of these lunatics. And here is Laken Riley. She didn't get to say nothing. But here he's telling her to take her race card and stick it.
Now you can
Black
respond.
Women cannot be racist to white women. Are you kidding me?
Sorry?
That makes no sense.
Sorry?
Black women cannot be racist to white women. Do you not understand that?
Oh, yes, they can.
You don't have the intellectual
capacity
to understand that.
Oh, yes, they
but that's
can.
Very much
and you've been
impossible.
racist to me.
That's very much impossible.
You've been racist to me, a white man, by saying I'm a race baiter. Yeah.
How am I racist to you? I'm black. I can't be racist to you.
You call me a race baiter with no
You're
evidence.
Racist to me.
When have I been a race baiter?
You could be racist to me.
When have I been a race baiter?
But I'm a powerhouse.
Tell me when I've been a race baiter.
I'm a powerhouse.
Well, you may be a powerhouse.
Understand something.
You may be a powerhouse. You may be a powerhouse.
Okay.
When have I been a race baiter?
I want to admit that. Okay.
When have I been a race baiter?
Okay.
When have I been a race baiter?
Okay.
This is absurd.
No, hang on. Tell me.
Honey.
Blossom, give me one example of me race baiting. Blossom, go.
I'm here at this point. I'm just here to talk about trans women in sports. I said what I said.
So you don't have anything,
have
do you?
Repeat anything.
You called me a race.
Yeah, you're right. He was a jerk about the CVID jab. But let's see. Maybe somebody will turn him around. Maybe they'll activate him. If somebody in his family gets sick from it, or people that he knows. Oh, I should have went through Trump's truths right from the start. This is where Trump said, I'm speaking to President Putin now. It's an ongoing, lengthy one. So he had somebody truth out while he was on the phone. And I'll report the contents as President Putin will at his conclusion. Well, we got the summary already. Here's truth from Trump. I just concluded my telephone conversation with Vladimir Putin of Russia, and it was a very productive one. President Putin congratulated me and the United States on the great accomplishment of peace in the Middle East, something he said he has dreamed of has been dreamed of for centuries. I actually believe that the success of the Middle East will help in our negotiation in attaining an end to the war in Russia-Ukraine. President Putin thanked the First Lady Melania for her involvement with children. Okay, that's good. He was very appreciative and said that this will continue. That's good also. We also spent a great deal of time talking about trade between Russia and the United States when the war with Ukraine is over. At the conclusion of the call, we agreed there will be a meeting of our high-level advisors next week. The United States' initial meetings will be led by Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Little Marco grew up in the big Marco, together with various other people to be designated. A meeting location is to be determined. Well, we know it's probably going to be in Budapest, Hungary, with Viktor Orban, who's a tough guy and on Trump's side, by the way. President Putin and I will then meet in an agreed-upon location. There we go, Budapest, Hungary, to see if we can bring this inglorious war between Russia and Ukraine to an end. President Zelensky and I will be meeting tomorrow in the Oval Office, where we will discuss my conversation with President Putin and much more. I believe great progress was made with today's telephone conversation. So, I think, as I was saying earlier in the stream, when the Ukraine war ends, and when there's ceasefire there, it's going to be Katie bar the door for these criminals. I think, just like that 17th letter said, peace through strength, now comes the pain. And just from my own cogitations, I'm going to be looking for the word Geronimo. Tomahawk, scalps, Geronimo. We shall see. What's this chick talking about here? I don't even remember. I got a clip from her. Who is she? What are you talking about? Maybe she's talking about something good. I don't know. Let's see. I don't remember.
Cook County Circuit Chief Judge Timothy Evans is barring civil arrests of people when they are at county courts. Evans said in a statement, quote, access to justice depends on every individual's ability to appear in court without fear or obstruction. Our courthouses remain places where all people, regardless of their background or circumstance, should be able to safely and confidently participate in the judicial process.
Okay, so this dopey state judge is keeping ICE out of courthouses. Another one who's going to be swept aside with his garbage. His garbage. You know, I'll talk about China tomorrow. China's playing a game and they're going to lose, okay? They're going to lose, and we'll talk about why in a future broadcast. But just remember, former McDonald's employee brokers peace deal between Israel and Hamas. You never know what will become of a McDonald's employee. I thought that was cute. But anyway, I got a good little video right here that I think you'll enjoy. And I will play it for you. I want to leave my Orange Man Rad picture up because it got me taken down one day. And now I can show it without fear or favor. So anyway, the movement is happening, folks. And, did you all give me a thumbs up? I hope you did. And I appreciate it. Once again, thank you, Miss Sue, for going to buy me a coffee. I appreciate that very much. And I will begin putting the link in the description. It can be found in my other videos in the description. Buy me a coffee, Mountain Man. All one word. But anyway, folks, what do I always say? Thank you for spending your precious time with me. And I should be going live tomorrow. If you're subscribed and hit the notification bell, you'll know when I go live. And I know you want to hear what this young man has to say about the movement happening. So enjoy this video. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
The mega movement is happening with the black folks. People starting to realize, hey, MAGA don't care about your color. MAGA love America. It's all big family. It ain't like the Democrat Party, Republican Party. MAGA is, we about America. America first. We don't care what your race is. Everybody family. It's all about love for your country. It ain't about taking care of all these other countries. It's about taking care of America first. Making America safe. Making America healthy. And I love it. Making our military, holding people accountable, draining the swamp. Y'all letting these people play in y'all faces, man. Man, we see through that. Y'all brainwashed. Y'all can't see why the government shut down? So y'all really want circumcisions in Rwanda? But anyway, let's go, MAGA. We up, baby.